Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me on today's webinar. My name is Alex Opacic. I'm the founder of Athlete to Business. As you all know by now, a recruitment agency specializing in placing elite athletes or former athletes into roles that maximize your unique skills and experiences. Again, welcome. I know there's a few more people just jumping on, so I'll do a bit of small talk if you don't mind before they get on, but I can see most of the people are coming on. So we've got a good turnout this morning, which is awesome. So thank you all for coming along. Hope everyone's doing well, safe, and it's great to see that sport's slowly coming back. So it was a bit refreshing for myself to be able to sit on the couch on a Friday night, drink a glass of red wine, and watch some footy. So let's keep it going and everybody stay safe. So today's webinar is all about personal branding for athletes, and more specifically, I'm not talking about personal branding in terms of your brand as an athlete. It's your post-sport personal branding. So what can you do right now as an athlete, or if you've already transitioned but just want to boost your profile out in the employment market, what are some of the things that you can do to enhance your post-sport personal brand? So I want to make this as interactive as possible. Please comment on the chat box there if you get a chance. If you've got any questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask on the chat. I'm also doing a poll. You'll see there's a poll question. It's just around pain points you might have if you're a current athlete, any pain points you have about your post-sport career, any anxieties that you might have, or anything that's bothering you in terms of like post-sport. So yeah, please interact with the chat and the poll questions. It'll be amazing. So I'll get right into it. So as I mentioned, all about post-sport personal branding for athletes, and where you can create a strong post-sport personal brand is on LinkedIn. It's obviously a professional social networking platform, so I'll explain why LinkedIn is the perfect place for you to create an excellent post-sport personal brand. I'll talk about how to craft your LinkedIn profile as an athlete and what type of content you can generate. And then most importantly, how to network on LinkedIn. There's no point of having a LinkedIn profile, especially if you have an immaculate LinkedIn profile, if you don't do anything with it. So it's important that you network on LinkedIn as well. And then finally, I'll talk about another plan A, which is a course that I'm creating, helping athletes transition into a successful post-sport career. So again, any questions, please ask on the chat, and please participate in the poll questions, which you'll see below. Appreciate it. So I'll get right into it. So why is your post-sport personal brand important? What's all that got to do with anything? And so these are some of the phrases of why. It adds credibility, confidence, you create yourself a network, it adds trust and authenticity. One of the biggest reasons that I struggled so poorly into my next phase of life after basketball is because I did absolutely nothing outside of basketball when I was playing basketball. Look, I did go to university and got a communication degree, but I paid zero attention and didn't really care what was going on in class or anything like that. And I never did anything to upskill myself, to properly upskill myself, expand my network. So I had no credibility. Honestly, I had no confidence in anything outside of basketball. I was pretty useless. I felt useless. And I felt I had no confidence because I didn't really do anything to help myself post-sport. I had zero network. I finished basketball. I went out to look for a job. I had no one to talk to. Didn't even know who to turn to for help. It was just a pretty poor time. And that showed when I went to job interviews. That showed to people I was trying to network with. So they had no trust in me. This person has nothing to bring to the table. And most importantly, I had this facade about me because I was confused, lost, didn't know what to do, did nothing in terms of helping myself post-basketball, so there was no authenticity about me. So creating a strong personal brand builds credibility, builds confidence, obviously not just in yourself, but in other people to employ you, go into business ventures with you, which ties into trust as well. They'll trust you. They'll trust that you have the right values, right skills, right tools to help them be successful and help yourself be successful as well. And most importantly, having the right personal brand, post-sport personal brand, create yourself a network. So when you do retire from sport, or if you're transitioning currently looking for job opportunities, it'll be so much easier for you. And again, the other part of that as well is authenticity. You need to create authenticity about who you are as what your personality is, what type of person you really are. All goes hand in hand with creating a strong personal brand. So why is LinkedIn so important? So yeah, just in case some people are not convinced to start being extremely active on LinkedIn, here are some of the reasons. And if you're still not convinced, please let me know and I'll answer back any questions or tell you why you should be convinced. But LinkedIn has 675 million monthly users. 30 million companies are on LinkedIn. So if you're trying to get a job or connect with hiring managers, they're on LinkedIn. 15 times more content impressions than job postings. So people are now, the type of content that's out there on LinkedIn is all education and valuable information. You can learn so much on LinkedIn, and you can also teach a lot on LinkedIn as well. Engagement has increased by 50% year on year. 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn drive business decisions. I think that's the biggest one for me. So obviously that's managing directors, CEOs, hiring managers, anyone who's in business is on LinkedIn, and that's the type of people you should be connecting with, and that's the type of people you should be building a network with and showcasing the values and skills that you have, the transferable skills that you have as an athlete. I often get asked by athletes to take a look at their resume or give them some tips on their resume. Your resume, it's great. It's a PDF version of your skills and your experiences. But honestly, way more importantly is your LinkedIn profile. So employers will look at your LinkedIn profile first before deciding. They'll skim over your resume just to find your name. They'll go search your LinkedIn profile and it just tells them real quick, should I look at this person or not? So it's vitally important that your LinkedIn profile is up to scratch, and then your resume. And then, as important, you need to make sure that your LinkedIn profile matches your resume. There are so many people that I see that their resume says one thing and then the LinkedIn profile says another thing. It's just attention to detail and what's going on there. So a lot of business relationships and deals are made through LinkedIn. My business survives because of LinkedIn. If LinkedIn wasn't around, I wouldn't be in business. Simple as that. And the biggest thing that LinkedIn allows you to do is showcase your communication skills. So your oral, your written, your presentation skills can all be showcased on LinkedIn, and I'll show you shortly how to do that, because communication skills and plays in part with emotional intelligence is the most sought after skill by employers. And the good thing about that is you can show your communication skills on LinkedIn. Employers will see it, posting videos, generating content. I'll come back to that shortly. And you see there as well, as I said, in terms of communication skills, LinkedIn allows you to keep and write a blog for free. You can write your own blog on LinkedIn for free for everybody to see, and you can share it on your profile. You can share it on other socials as well. So if it's there, use it. It just boosts your personal brand tenfold. And this is the most important one for me. I wish I did this after basketball. I retired, back in 2011. At the time, I thought LinkedIn wasn't as big, but it was still quite prevalent then. But especially now, most importantly, if you don't have experience, if you feel you lack a bit of confidence because of your lack of experience in a certain industry, LinkedIn allows you to create experience. One example, if you're a writer and you haven't worked before in journalism or whatever it is, you can write on LinkedIn. You start writing a blog about topics you're passionate about. So LinkedIn allows you to create your own experience. Can't really use that excuse as much from there. Now, the way that you want to craft your LinkedIn profile, and I'll just go into a story about what's been happening in my business in the last 3 months that I'm really happy about. And I wish I knew this when I transitioned from basketball, but in general, employers are extremely open to hiring athletes, and that's great for me. And I wish more athletes knew this, and this should give you the confidence that as an athlete, you're extremely employable. Reason being is because when you say the word athlete, or when you think of an elite athlete, you're assertive, you're proactive, you're a go-getter, and you're a high performer. Simple as that. If you're not those things, you can't be an elite athlete. And employers know that. People know that. Elite athlete and high performer go hand in hand. So have that confidence and showcase it on your profile. Showcase your assertiveness, showcase your proactiveness. You're a go-getter, you're an athlete, you're a high performer. And the way you do that is by showing your transferable skills, right? How are you going to transfer being assertive, being proactive, being a go-getter, being a high performer? How are you going to transfer that into the business world? LinkedIn allows you to do that. And I'll go shortly into more examples of how. Again, if any questions come along, or if you think of any questions, please put it on the chat. I'd be happy to answer them. If I can't answer them now, I can email you or answer it at another time. So with your LinkedIn profile, I'll just go into bit by bit on LinkedIn profile and how to make sure that you stand out as an athlete, as a high performer. So I'll talk about the headline first. It's one of the first things that employers look at, or anyone really looks at, is your headline. Who are you? What do you do? Your headline typically summarizes you in a sentence or a few words. One of the most effective things that athletes can do, if you're a current athlete, obviously, transitioning sometime in the future when you retire, but is athlete aspiring to be a business development manager, or athlete aspiring to be a social media coordinator. Whatever it is that you want for your post-sport career, obviously you put currently an athlete, but aspiring to be whatever you are. That way, if somebody comes across your profile, oh wow, this is interesting. This person is an athlete. He's a high performer. Oh wow, he's aspiring to be, or she's aspiring to be a social media coordinator. I know I'm going to hire a social media coordinator sometime in the future. So it's just a great headline to show you're currently a high performer, but you're looking to be a high performer in industry XYZ. If you're not sure what you want to do, you can put athlete aspiring to be a successful a business professional, or an athlete aspiring to be a professional business executive. Something along those lines. It's more vague, but the more specific you can be, if you know what career you want to get into, the better for you. If you're a former athlete, or you're just transitioning into a post-sport career, one of the best headlines is former athlete looking to transfer my high-performing habits into social media creation, or former athlete looking to transfer my high-performing habits into sales or into recruitment, whatever that industry that you're going into. So just be blunt, be straight up about it. I'm a high performer, and I'm looking to transfer that into industry XYZ. And one of the best things as an athlete, and I did this on my profile once I started working in the business space, and slowly adjusted these things on my LinkedIn profile. I started getting recruiters and hiring managers headhunt me. But one of the things I did was I put on my headline that I was an athlete. So athlete or former athlete, currently a business development manager for a company XYZ. So a lot of people put, especially if they're athletes, business development manager for whatever company, or marketing manager for whatever company you're working for. If you're a former athlete, or even if you're a current athlete and still working full time, put that on your profile, because it just expands your profile, if not that much. Again, if athlete equals high performer, so why not put that on your profile? I know a lot of athletes are humble, and usually a lot of athletes downplay their successes. Don't, fuck it, I'll play it. Just let everybody know you're an athlete and you were successful. It's gonna do wonders for you. The other thing you could do on LinkedIn as well, on your profile, is in the contact info section. You'll see you can add a website. So whether it's your blog, personal website, or whatnot, I highly recommend, and you can use LinkedIn to start a blog as well. I highly recommend starting a blog and putting that in your contact section under a website. Even better, and this isn't hard at all. I thought it was going to be hard, but I managed to create it within, honestly, 20 to 30 minutes. You can just do a simple YouTube tutorial, but create your own personal blog via WordPress or one of those those type of websites. It's easy, it's quick, it doesn't have to be fancy. Done is better than perfect. And add that to your LinkedIn profile. your website, your own blog, because again, that's going to add wonders. Wow, this person's keeping a blog. It's got their own website, shows their professional, their attention to detail. They're a go-getter. Again, all those transferable skills that we spoke about before that athletes have by having your own personal blog or website about something that you're highly passionate about, or something that's related to the career that you want to go work in, will add wonders to your profile and to your resume. And then I want to get into the profile picture and the background photo. This is one of the most overlooked things, but there's such little things that athletes would know it. The one percenters, all coaches praise, and everybody talks about the one percenters. The one percenters, and it's your profile photo and cover picture. As simple as that sounds, it can do wonders to your profile. I'll just give you an example of mine, and then that's how I'll talk about it. 1 second, I'll just share my screen if you don't mind. Okay, so I'll just have a look at my profile here. So as you can see, my profile picture is just, that's my business attire. That's usually what I wear for Athlete to Business. So I'm mostly showcasing my business brand. If you're not currently working for a business or whatnot, I recommend a suit or obviously business professional attire. And if you see carefully on my background there, my cover page, it's me giving a presentation. So earlier I said the number one most sought after skill by employers is communication skill. It looks like a professional background. I was giving a presentation somewhere important. Those people are dressed in suits. That girl looks really professional. Wow, and they're really listening to me. This dude must be a good communicator. I mean, I'm not perfect, obviously, but that picture alone just says 1,000 words. I'm not trying to be arrogant here or anything like that, but that picture says 1,000 words about what I do and my skill set. So if anywhere you were giving a presentation, talking at a school, talking to kids, if you don't have a photo, but next time you are, ask somebody to take a photo from the background and use that on your cover page. Even if you can, I wouldn't use a picture like this, obviously, as my profile picture, but let's say if that there alone, somebody took a photo of me alone giving that presentation, I definitely would have used that as my profile picture. So next time I give a presentation when we're allowed to meet people in public, I'll do that. But yeah, so anywhere, obviously your profile picture, professional business attire, a cover page or the cover photo here, anywhere you were giving a presentation, giving a talk, if you can get a photo of that, it'll do wonders for your profile, 100%. So I'll just stop sharing and change the layout. So I hope that made sense in terms of how to set up your profile picture or cover page. Please ask any questions if you need. The other big 1% little thing that stands out is your summary or about me section. It's a perfect, I wouldn't recommend any more than 2,000, 2,500 words, maybe 3,000. But it's a perfect time to showcase who you are, your personality, and your professional experience. So the number one tip I have for athletes is be authentic, be personal, showcase your transferable skills. Maybe put some of your accomplishments, but then showcase your transferable skills as well. So that's kind of straight to the point of who you are, what you've done, and what you can transfer into the business world. The other way you can do it is write a story. And the best story is something that you've overcome in your life. Obviously, maybe as an athlete, there might have been a tough period, maybe going through injuries or going through a tough season or anything like that, and then how you overcame it and something of success happened after you've overcome that setback. Because people listen to stories, people gravitate towards stories. And if your story is an underdog story or some sort of setback that you've had and how you've overcome it, it spells resilience. And especially in today's day and age with COVID and apparently economic crisis and everything that's going on, employers and people look for resilient people, right? Resilience is one of the most sought after attributes right now. So if you can show a story of how you overcome tough times and became successful after it, share it on your About Me, your summary section. A quick pro tip for the summary section, and in general throughout the experiences as well that I'll talk about in a second. If you know what career you want to get into after sport, if you have a bit of an idea of where your post-sport career path wants to go, search those jobs on Seek and have a look at the job descriptions, right? And on the job descriptions, have a look at the keywords on thereafter. So I don't know, resilience, communication skills. If you want to get into the software space, on a UX designer, whatever the key skills that they're looking for on that job description, you should sprinkle those keywords all across your LinkedIn profile, your About Me section, your experiences. Let's just subtly put all those words in there, because the way that hiring managers and recruiters look for people on LinkedIn to hire is through keyword searches, right? They'll put a job description together and then they'll search for those keywords on LinkedIn and see who's got the skill set that they're looking for. So that's a trick there. If especially once you're ready, once you're retiring and transitioning from your sport, just go all out with the keywords on your profile. The biggest tip that I have for athletes on the experiences section on their LinkedIn profile, again, I can't reiterate this enough. Your LinkedIn profile, and especially the experiences, needs to match your resume. So I'm talking about start and end date, job title, in the exact order, whatever order you want to start, latest job to previous job, or vice versa, whatever it is. Make sure that the experiences on your LinkedIn profile match the experiences on your resume. There's nothing worse when that doesn't match. It just spells lack of attention to detail. How honest is this person? What's going on here? So triple check that. Make sure your LinkedIn profile matches your resume. And the biggest tip on experiences that I have for athletes is it's all good and fine to showcase or talk about some of the accomplishments that you've done. You know, professional athlete for 8 years, won a championship in 2012, was MVP in whatever year. You know, Olympic athlete the next year, whatever it is. That's great. People like that, but they don't necessarily care about it enough to just hire you based off of that, right? As I said, they'll look at you and they'll consider you because, right, this person's a high performer. They've been to the Olympics, they're an elite athlete. However, what people really care about is how are you going to transfer those high-performing habits into this job or into this industry. So, for example, on your experiences section, if you won the championship in 2012, or you were in the Olympics in 2012 or whatever year, Olympic athlete in 2012, which has taught me resilience, work ethic, time management, and has instilled a serious competitive nature in me, which I'll bring into XYZ profession. So just mention the things that you've learned from your experiences as an athlete and how you're going to transfer that into that next career phase. All right. So don't just list your experiences, but then how it's relevant to the job or career that you really want to go into. So that's biggest tip I have for the experiences section. Now, the other way to create a powerful post-sport personal brand on LinkedIn, along all those things as well, is content creation. I mentioned there's no point of having a LinkedIn profile if you're not going to participate in content or generate content on LinkedIn. So some of the things that you can do, as I mentioned already, publish a LinkedIn article and then add it to the feature section on your LinkedIn profile as well. So the article is LinkedIn's version of keeping up a blog. So what are some of the things that you can do? So whatever your other passion is, and I spoke this to an athlete recently, and he's really passionate about renewable energy and wants to work in the solar fields, or something within solar. So I said, why don't you start a blog about renewable energy? Whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about that specific point, start a blog about it. And he has, and it's just done wonders for his networking so far. Talk about some of the high performing habits that you've had in sport and some of your productivity habits. What What did you do as an elite athlete to be so successful to become an elite athlete? That's really interesting. People want to know that. So you can start a blog about that. Your daily activities, if let's say if you're going to the Olympics, you were supposed to go to the Olympics now, but you're going in 2021. What are your current daily activities? What's your journey looking like? My life as an athlete, blog about it. People will absolutely gravitate towards that. Leading up to Tokyo 2021 could be the title of your blog. A lot of athletes, I was myself like this as well, but by doing that, and even myself now running these webinars, you are putting yourself in a vulnerable situation. Get comfortable with being vulnerable. Get comfortable with just sharing yourself, your personality. It'll grow your personal brand. It'll do wonders for you. It's done wonders for me since I've been highly active on social media in the last 3 months. So, and especially if you talk about these things that I mentioned, it's only positive. It's only positive. Like, who wouldn't want to lead? Who wouldn't want to read about an athlete leading up to Tokyo? I'd love to know what they're doing daily. Fitness, health, diet is another one. Athletes are professionals when it comes to that. How do I get fit? How do I eat healthy? Simple things that you can write about like that. And then most importantly, resilience and elite mentality is what athletes have. That's everybody would have seen the most recent Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, and one thing that's spelled out for that whole documentary is Michael Jordan's mental toughness, resilience. And most athletes are mentally tough and resilient, because you don't become an elite athlete if you're not mentally tough. So what are some of the habits or routines in your daily life to enable you to be so mentally tough? Write about it, post a video, put it on LinkedIn. Again, that's all part of creating your post-sport personal brand and showcasing your communication skills. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions around content creation, or had some ideas, or even if you had an idea and you wanted to run it by me, just shoot me an email. I'll show you my contact details shortly, or just connect with me on LinkedIn. So just quickly, this is probably the most important thing to do on LinkedIn is to network with other people, with other professionals. So obviously try and network with professionals that are already in the industry that you want to be in. Or obviously, if you're currently job searching, get proactive with connecting to the professionals that you want to work with. Obviously, there's a lot of people searching for jobs right now. There's not a lot of companies hiring, but the market's slowly starting to come back. And I tell you what, from my experiences, the people that have landed the jobs that they want, they've been proactive about it. So searching for roles on Seek, Indeed, or whatever is, everyone's doing it. Everybody is doing that. So how are you going to stand out from the rest? And as an athlete, your advantage is that you're already a high performer, but now you're a go-getter as well, because you're connecting with the exact person that you want to work with, or exact company that you want to be working for. So to do that is just send a LinkedIn connection to whoever hiring manager or company that you want to work with, and it's simple. You can just type in the company name on LinkedIn, and then type in maybe XYZ company marketing manager or sales manager. Press enter. You'll see the sales managers or marketing managers that come up. Connect with them. Once they've accepted your connection, in most cases, people will accept your connection. The more people you connect with, you'll have people accepting your connection. When that happens, you can send them a direct message, and send a message straight to the point, personalize it a little bit. But I am an athlete currently looking to one day work in the industry that you're currently in. Congrats on all your success. Would love to know some tips and tools on how to become as successful as you in this industry. If you're currently searching for a job, same thing, and just say, look, I'm a recently retired athlete looking to get into sales or recruitment. I noticed you're a sales manager at so-and-so, would love to chat to you about potentially hiring me. Something along those lines, but personalize it, and don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to connect. Don't be afraid to ask to work with somebody. And then the next step, which shows you as an athlete being a go-getter, write down all the people you've sent a message to, find the company number on Google. If they haven't replied to you, call them up. Follow them up with a phone call. I guarantee you that's going to, if you're currently job searching, that's going to beat everybody that's applying via Seek. Apply via Seek, but then also find them on LinkedIn, send them a message, If they haven't connected with you, call them. Hey, I've applied via Seek. I've also sent you a message on LinkedIn. Was wondering if I can borrow 10 minutes of your time to show you why I should be your employee, or why I should work for you. Like they'll love that. I'm telling you, people will absolutely love that. So don't be afraid to do that. That's showing that you're a go-getter and you really want it, and you're resilient. You're not afraid. You're not afraid to get proactive. And you'll see LinkedIn prompts you when people's birthdays come up or any kind of anniversaries. You know, send them a quick message. So it's a long-term game. It's not a short-term game. It can be a short-term game as well if you connect with the right person. But have long-term mentality. That's how you're going to build your post-sport brand. That's how you'll stand out from all the other job seekers, and that's how you'll show your transferable skills as an athlete. So one final point as well, I mentioned earlier, I do a fair bit of one-on-one coaching with athletes in terms of career transition. And one of my favorite classes that I teach is how to use LinkedIn. And I go in a lot more detail to what I just spoke about. I'm currently actually creating an online course, which if you click on the offer tab, you'll see the pre-registration is available now. But the online course is all about how to use LinkedIn to create a strong personal brand and open up a number of employment opportunities for yourself. Typically $299 for the course, but currently in production, you can pre-register for $49.95. So if you're interested, click on the link below. Otherwise, feel free to get in touch with me anytime. That's my contact details. Any questions about post-sport careers, athlete transition, job opportunities at the moment. I look for jobs for athletes all day, every day. That's my full-time job. I try and partner with athlete-friendly employers. So yeah, feel free to reach out anytime. Any questions, if anyone has any questions, put it in the chat. And please, if you get a chance, answer the poll question. But hope you enjoyed that and hope you found some value out of it. Please stay in touch and we'll speak to you guys soon. Take care. Cheers, guys.